Great. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So it's an error occurred. Please try again later. Great. All right. Hold on. All right. Give me a second here.
Hello and welcome. My name is Craig Berger and I'm the Assistant Director in Community Engaged Learning at Kent State. I hope the first part of your Common Conversations experience helped you clarify what you hope to accomplish this semester and helped you set yourself up for a successful Kent State career. We have designed this next block of time to build on your previous conversation and to make it easier for you to pursue the commitments you've established. We've asked some great people associated with different community and advocacy focused opportunities to join us today so that you can hear directly from them about their transformative experiences with the hope that it may spark ideas about how you can follow through with your action steps. Service and philanthropy is a part of Kent State's culture. In fact, the university was founded in 1910 after William Kent donated 53 acres of his farmland, the land that would become the university you're attending and can call home today. It is our intention that you not only receive a world-class education during your time as a Golden Flash, but that you develop a passion for serving the needs of your community, as someone like William Kent did, and graduate with a commitment to positive change. So how does that work here at Kent State? Well, first, a little bit about our office. Community Engaged Learning at Kent State helps students advance social change by connecting you, your academic or personal interests and talents, with local, regional, and even international opportunities, while also helping you develop a variety of skills employers are looking for. It's also definitely not one size fits all. As you'll hear in the conversations, different community members have different experiences with engagement, and that's why we offer different opportunities to engage. We offer short-term experiences like our monthly days of service, during which students travel to different sites around Kent for a few hours to work on a variety of service projects with nonprofit agencies. We also offer longer immersive experiences like our alternative break trips, which provide travel experiences organized around one particular social issue or community challenge. So for example, students have learned about human trafficking at the state capitol in Columbus. They've rebuilt homes after natural disasters in New Orleans and Houston. Students have celebrated the LGBTQ community in support of the 50th anniversary of World Pride in New York City, and they've supported clean water initiatives in the Dominican Republic, and that's just to name a few. Locally, we support hunger fighting initiatives through our campus kitchen program. We recover food from grocers or local supermarkets that otherwise would go to waste, and then hold a biweekly food pantry on campus for students, faculty, staff, community members. Everyone is invited, as well as make nutritious hot meals for local social service agencies. Finally, community engaged learning also has leadership roles through our office. The experiences I just described are led by dedicated and passionate students who lead service and reflection and work directly with community organizations on original projects. While things may look a little different this year due to the pandemic, we are committed to connecting you with our amazing community partners so that you can start or continue your journey of impact here at Kent State. So how do you get involved? Well, the best way to stay in touch with our office and learn about opportunities is definitely through social media. Our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook usernames are all the same, which is Kent State CEL. And we also have a biweekly newsletter you can subscribe to at our website, which is kent.edu/community. Now we're excited to introduce you to some of our partners who will share information with you about exciting opportunities they've either experienced themselves as students, have connected with courses they teach as faculty members, or facilitate these opportunities as partners to Kent State working in the community. Can I have each of our guests say your name, what your role is, and what work or activities at Kent State you've either been a part of or are currently connected to? And we'll start with Kristen.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Kristen. I am a sophomore fashion merchandising major. I am involved with the CEO for the Community Partner Advocate Program, and I'm currently partnered with the charity Socially Responsible Sweatshop. It's a local nonprofit group, and they're always at the Kent State's farmers, at the local Kent Farmers Market. They will sell items, create items that they then sell, and then the money from those purchases goes towards helping people who are on food stamps get fresh food from the farmers market. So it's a way for them to be sustainable because they use recycled and donated fabric to create the items they sell, and then it's also giving back to the community and being more eco-friendly and supporting local businesses. I'm also involved in other various clubs and organizations on campus, including some fashion clubs like Modista and NRFSA, and then also I'm in the youth group, United Christian Ministry.
Thanks, Kristen. And PJ, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm PJ Kimmel, and I am a 2016 graduate of the College of Business, where I got a degree in finance, and I have pretty much since then worked at Cleveland Clinic in financial planning. So I help support the organization's forecast and budget process. Outside of that, though, I'm excited to be here today just to kind of share my experiences as a former undergraduate student and my involvement with community engaged learning. So while I was a student, I was involved with a number of programs that Craig just mentioned. I was a student service leader my senior year for Super Service Saturdays, and I attended 3 alternative spring break trips to Buffalo, New York. And then outside of that, even I was involved with quite a few different student organizations and even a student manager in the hub. So hopefully I bring a little bit of a diverse experience as a student that you all can kind of use to reflect in your own experience and what you want to make your student life at Kent State look like. That'll look differently for everybody, but hopefully Kristen and I can bring a good perspective to the good programs that are through Craig's office.
Thanks, PJ. And I'm actually going to turn back to you because I know we have some College of Business Administration students who are just incoming now, and they're really trying to figure out how they can get involved on campus or just feel connected to campus. How can you talk about your process and how coming in as a first-year student, you were able to get connected and feel like you belonged?
Yeah, so my story's a little interesting. My freshman year when I was going into college, I didn't feel quite prepared for the move to the Kent campus. So I actually started at Kent Salem for a semester. And I quickly found out that I was missing that student life component in my educational experience. So I transferred to Kent campus the spring semester of my freshman year. And one of the first things I actually got involved with was the alternative spring break trip to Buffalo, New York, because I didn't really know that many people. I was a little scared about how I would make friends and meet people, especially like transferring middle of semester. That's kind of a weird time to do that. But that was definitely my first experience with community engaged learning. And I would recommend that to anybody listening for a number of reasons that we'll kind of get into in this webinar. But it's a really great way to meet people that think differently than you, look differently than you, might be outside of the College of Business. So it's a really quick way just to get plugged into the university and meet a lot of different students in different fields.
Thanks. And Kristen, I believe you're sophomore, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And how would you say that you were able to really get acquainted with Kent State and feel connected last year when you were making the same transition?
So I started off by attending a lot of the activities that they had for the Honors College, since I am also an Honors College student. And then I just kind of went to the Blast Off, which is like the career or the club fair type thing that they have going on. I believe it's this week actually. They have it virtually now. But I kind of started to get connected with different organizations because I've always been like a club sort of person, even in high school. So I started kind of looking at just all the clubs that I was on, like so many email lists, because I think it's important just to try things outside of your realm, even if it doesn't really have to do with your major. Like maybe you're a business major, but you're really into the environment, so you want to join one like the sustainability club and things like that. I think it's really important to do those kinds of things to get connected. So I just talked with like everyone about, and like former students that I knew, about what kind of clubs they were into, just kind of by word of mouth, connected with them from social media and went from there.
Great, thanks for sharing. And we're going to come back to you actually with a question about your future career. And really just if you think about the community partner advocate role, that role is very tailored to you or whomever is filling that role. But can you talk about the kinds of things that you can see right now based on what you're doing and how that's going to be helpful for your future career, just in terms of skill development?
Yeah, so for my role, I've been working with the organization to do marketing for them. I'm going to start implementing some like social media engagement. Primarily, I'll be making them an Instagram, and working on some product development, and helping them kind of market and help them create the items that they're going to sell and come up with new ideas for it. So those are both different things that I'm very interested in for future career paths. So I think it'll really be able to help me choose what area I would like to concentrate on for future roles, just because there's so many things you can do with the major that you have. So I'll be doing that, and then also just building like the leadership skills of having to like reach out to different people, different organizations, in time management, like staying on top of classes and the extracurriculars. So I feel like different things like that are very applicable to future roles.
Great. And then PJ, really the same question for you, but I guess looking back in time, are there things that you did at Kent State that you were involved in, perhaps the alternative break trips, but possibly other things too, that really set you up well for what you're doing currently?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, Kristen being a sophomore and me kind of being nearly 4 years into my career. I would totally echo everything that she said, that there's only so much that you can learn in your courses. And don't get me wrong, you like one of your top goals while you're a student at Kent State should be to go to your courses, get good grades, learn all of that content that you're going to need to know to do well at your job. But there's also a lot of like soft skills that are really challenging to learn in a classroom, and you need to get involved with opportunities like the ones that we're talking about today to learn those. So she brought up a lot of good ones of like teamwork and time management that will only become more applicable as you graduate and go into your careers. For me at the clinic, one of our kind of hallmark values is empathy. And empathy basically means, how do we understand, relate to other people's needs, and how do we react to those and share in those feelings? So I think sometimes in business fields that can be a little disconnected, since we're more of a support role for an organization usually. But for me, every day I go to work or sign into my laptop right now, constantly reminding myself that, we're here for patients. We're here to keep the organization, as financially successful as it can be. And you're going to eventually go in roles, and it might not be finance, it might be marketing or management or anything else. And you're going to need to be able to anticipate the needs of other people around you, people that might not be in your field. So for me, there's been instances where I'm meeting with like a nurse manager and I need to help them understand their financials. And that is a really hard skill to practice in college in a classroom. And my advice to everybody listening is to definitely explore how do you use community service, not only to help other people, but to help yourself and to explore these skills or passions of yours that may be a little more challenging to explore just in the setting of a classroom.
Thank you, PJ. And I want to toss it back to Kristen now. I'm wondering if there are ways in your work that you're doing where you're not only serving others, but you see kind of what PJ was talking about, your ability to serve yourself through the work that you're doing.
Yeah, so I feel like um, through my role as a community partner advocate, I've been able to like we said before about like building those skills. Like I've been able to serve myself um, by being able to reflect on what I've been doing and how I can do it better, which is just really a service to yourself because it's like that's focusing on that self improvement and just being able to take a step back. And also like interpersonal skills, just like working with other people. I also think that just being able to like learning how to do that time management, as we said before, is really important because it's so easy to get overwhelmed when you're doing extracurriculars and school. So especially if you enjoy what you're doing, then it doesn't necessarily seem like you're stressed out and then all of a sudden you are. So really learning those time management skills and having the resources and the people that are helping you out and like your mentors, being able to be there for you. That's also like a service to yourself because you're making those connections with people that you can go to if you do need help.
Great, thank you. And I guess a question for PJ is if students were interested in learning more about the work that you do, how might they start up a conversation with you?
I guess there's a number of ways. Like any social media platform, I'm definitely on. Doesn't necessarily have to be LinkedIn, but definitely on LinkedIn. I'm happy to share my email with people if there's any students that are listening right now that want to have like a career chat or ideas of how to make your student life experience the best that it can be at Kent State. I think that's kind of another piece of advice I would give everybody listening is, as you're thinking about what the next 4 or so years are going to look like for you, how are you going to shape that to kind of explore really important questions that we should ask ourselves in life, like who am I, what do I believe, and how do I want to make an impact in this world, what are my desires, and kind of using that to kind of fuel your career and your interests. So the options are endless for how to reach out to me. I'm definitely open to talking with anybody that's interested.
Thanks. And Kristen, how would students right now who are listening to this, how would they get involved with the socially responsible sweatshop?
So I would say like they have a website. So I'd say like you can Google it, find their website if you're interested. They also have done the volunteer sessions for the service days through the CEL. They've participated in those before. I know that I've had friends that have made like little dog toys for shelters and things like that before through them. So I would say just get involved, reach out. The owner or the founder of it is super nice. Or you can also contact me through social media anytime. And we'll have an Instagram up and running soon. So you can also check that out.
Great, thank you. We may have to leave it there because we're running out of time, but do either of you have just like one parting thought as far as advice that you either already gave and want to reinforce or haven't said yet?
I guess I would say that everybody listening right now, any student, is at the best position in your life, and what I would argue is one of the best places to be, to just explore. And I would say fearlessly explore how you want to get involved with student life, community service, any community engaged learning program. And I promise you won't regret it. I don't have any regrets, and I think that should be a goal by the time you graduate, is to have no regrets over your college experience. So, look up the student organizations, get involved with a alternative spring break trip or a super service Saturday, and be prepared to have fun and to learn more and answer those key questions about who you are and what you want to do in the world.
That's great. Thanks, PJ. Any question or any thoughts you have, Kristen?
I would say just try everything. Don't be afraid to reach out to upperclassmen or alumni, because it might seem intimidating, but they're there to help you. We're all resources, and we'd be more than happy to talk to you. So I would just say, yeah, just get involved, and it really will help you make the most of your college experience.
Well, thank you to both of you for joining us today. We're near the end of our time with you. However, as you prepare to complete one more common conversation activity, we want to point out something about service, and that is that it can be complex. Quite often we think of service as an act that involves us and other people who we can see or communicate with, or someone we know, or someone we can get to know. And a big part of service does operate based on that framework. Tutoring is a good example of this direct service. But I hope that you were able to hear in the conversation that we just had that there are also some examples of service that are indirect, meaning you don't necessarily see who benefits. Wearing a mask is an obvious example these days, or so is helping to paint a playroom at a local after-school facility. Service can also be self-focused, so acts of self-care like seeing a counselor, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep. Those all are ways that we can serve ourselves. And when positively changing our communities, serving ourselves is as important as serving others. When we apply these observations to our 3 prompts for the day, resilience, advocacy, and social change, and finding you, we can see that in focusing on all of these, we serve others and ourselves in direct and in indirect ways. You may have already heard the phrase flashes take care of flashes. We've adopted that phrase as a university community, not because it's a convenient slogan, but because service to others and to ourselves is a community value. It's part of our institutional identity at Kent State. We hope our conversation today has helped you identify how you can enact that value in your own Kent State experience, starting with this semester. So thank you, welcome to Kent State, and go Flashes.